Imagine Earth millions of years after humanity is gone. Our cities have collapsed. Our languages have disappeared. Forests cover the places where billions of people once lived. But Earth isn't empty. Life continues. Animals evolve, new species appear, and eventually, could another species become intelligent enough to build cities, create technology, and become the next civilization on Earth? If humans disappeared tomorrow, there would be no empty throne waiting for another species. Evolution doesn't work like that. Animals don't evolve toward intelligence because intelligence is somehow the final destination. Evolution favors traits that help organisms survive and reproduce in their particular environments. For some species, speed works. For others, camouflage, venom, armor, or the ability to survive with an extremely simple nervous system. Human-level intelligence is only one evolutionary strategy, and it's an expensive one. Our brains consume an enormous amount of energy. Human babies require years of care. It takes a long time for us to learn enough to survive independently. So, for another species to develop something resembling human technological intelligence, there would need to be advantages powerful enough to make all that biological expense worthwhile. But there are already animals that possess some fascinating ingredients. Let's begin with our closest relatives, chimpanzees and bonobos. They can use tools, solve problems, learn from one another, navigate complicated social relationships, and demonstrate impressive memory and planning abilities. Oh, given millions of years under completely different environmental pressures, could one of their descendants become more intelligent? Possibly. But there is absolutely no guarantee. Evolution could push them in an entirely different direction. Then we have dolphins. Dolphins possess large, complex brains. They communicate, cooperate, learn socially, recognize individuals, and display sophisticated problem-solving abilities. They seem like excellent candidates. Until you notice one enormous problem: they live underwater. Human civilization wasn't created by intelligence alone. Our hands were incredibly important. We could manipulate objects with precision, make increasingly complicated tools, and perhaps most importantly, control fire. Underwater, fire is effectively unavailable. Metallurgy becomes extraordinarily difficult. Building electronics or developing technologies along anything resembling the human path would face enormous obstacles. So dolphins could become extraordinarily sophisticated without ever building an industrial civilization like ours. Then there are elephants. They have impressive memories, complex social lives, long childhoods, communication, problem-solving abilities, and trunks capable of surprisingly precise manipulation. But, again, intelligence doesn't automatically become technology. An elephant's evolutionary future could take countless paths. And then we reach perhaps the strangest candidate: crows and ravens. Corvids have relatively small brains compared with humans, but they're remarkably capable. Some can solve multi-step puzzles, use tools, remember human faces, learn from experience, and adjust their behavior when circumstances change. They also have something dolphins don't: access to land, but they lack human-like hands. A beak and feet can manipulate objects, just not with the same flexibility as our fingers. And then, there are octopuses. If aliens already lived on Earth, an octopus might be the closest thing to what we'd imagine. They solve puzzles, open containers, explore unfamiliar objects, escape enclosures, and control 8 highly flexible arms. Their nervous systems are radically different from ours, with huge numbers of neurons distributed through their bodies and arms. But octopuses face serious obstacles to civilization. Many species live relatively short lives. Most aren't highly social in the way humans are. And once again, they're underwater. For civilization to emerge, intelligence may not be enough. A species may need a rare combination of traits: a sufficiently capable brain, fine manipulation, social learning, long enough lives to accumulate knowledge, communication sophisticated enough to transmit information, and an environment where technology can actually develop. Humans happen to possess an extraordinary combination of these traits. Our ancestors didn't merely invent tools, they taught others how to make them. The next generation improved them. Then, the next generation improved them again. Knowledge accumulated. A sharp stone became increasingly sophisticated tools. Tools eventually contributed to agriculture. Agriculture supported cities. Cities supported specialized knowledge. And thousands of years later, one species was building computers and spacecraft. This ability to accumulate improvements across generations may be one of civilization's most important ingredients. So, if humans disappeared, how long would another technological species take to emerge? Nobody knows. Maybe several million years, maybe hundreds of millions, or perhaps never. Remember something extraordinary. Life has existed on Earth for billions of years. Yet technological civilization, as far as we know, has appeared only once. That should tell us that intelligence capable of building technology isn't necessarily an inevitable outcome of evolution. And there's another possibility. The species that replaces us might not resemble humans at all. It may descend from an animal alive today, or from a species that doesn't even exist yet. Millions of years of evolution could create forms of intelligence we would struggle to recognize. Perhaps communication based on patterns we cannot understand. Social structures unlike anything humans developed. Technology created using completely different methods. If another civilization eventually appeared, it might discover traces of us. Unusual chemicals buried in ancient rocks, fossils of domesticated animals, fragments of artificial materials, maybe even objects left on the moon. They might realize that, long before their civilization existed, another intelligent species transformed Earth and then disappeared. Which leads to an unsettling thought. We like to imagine ourselves as Earth's final achievement. But evolution doesn't have final achievements. Species appear, they change, they disappear, and life continues. Maybe humans will remain Earth's only technological civilization, or maybe millions of years after we're gone. Another species will look toward the stars, ask whether intelligent life exists elsewhere, and never realize that the answer once walked across the same planet beneath their feet.